Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. Welcome. Pre-market here at SpartanTrading.com. Fascinating setup we have, as you all know. The drama, like I discussed yesterday, my thoughts as to why what Powell had to say really was kind of unimportant just by the topic that he was supposed to be discussing. We do have CPI. I'm not, and I'm in agreement. These bonds are telling us what they think. I still think you want to be in the mid to longer back end of the curve as opposed to the front end. And I really won't be looking to get into the front end probably. And I was talking to Twins about this, probably not until June-ish, maybe a little bit after that. So I'm very happy being in the mid to back end of the curve as opposed to the front end right now. So I'll see how that plays out. And, we're just kind of mucking around. China obviously has been a theme. Gold has been a theme. The market wants to rally. There's no question about that. And, seasonality. But, the tailwind continues to be the amount of cash on hand and the under ownership of the market by so many. And we're dealing with rotation, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a fun one. Well, these first 2 weeks have been really quite something, right? Let's talk about this API build. Bad news, good action. Crude should be down, but it's not. And that's why we continue to talk about this narrative that the SPO, Strategic Petroleum Reserves, this is a floor in the mid to low 70s as far as I'm concerned. And we're starting to see that creeping up. It looks like they're buying in the like 73 zone, something like that. So in that regard, I guess they did a good job waiting, patience. All right, so monthly CPI was softer than expected in Australia. Retail sales was way better than expected. The GGB, Jibun option 30-year rates are going higher there, obviously. And here we have in Indonesia, motorbike sales were up, but they didn't have a forecast, right? Index preliminary coincident, leading economic indicator, a little bit softer, but what are you going to do? And here's the Bund auction came out, 2.25. Mexico. Look, I think we do have to start focusing on Mexico, and I'm just thinking about how do I want to play this. Obviously I can do an ETF, but this I think is, and I also think Brazil, and they screw it up all the time, I know, but there comes a point in time where, it's just so inexpensive, right, that you have to start looking like Petrobras. You really have to start thinking about that. Mortgage backs came out. The rate was 6.42%, still coming down. Applications, let's see, were 1.2%. So they were up as opposed to down the previous one, right? And then we get the 1030 EIA. And then obviously we have an auction, the 10-year. So let's keep an eye on what goes on with that. And then Canada, the news out of Canada is fascinating. So the rentals, office rentals is the, in terms of space, it's our record in terms of what's available. So, and they're talking about defaults, mortgage defaults too. So this is unusual discussions coming out of Canada. And then we have inflation rates coming out, CPI. This is PPI. So see how that plays as well. Okay, what do we got? KB Holmes is left, right? It's in Taiwan semi pre-market, right? Info says, and here we go. All the banks. Boop, 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 boop. We'll see how that goes, right? All right, so let's take a peek here. This is relative value, securitized credit versus corporate bonds. I think this is important to look at, where we are in this cycle and how much we've bounced. All right, so here's, as you can see here, high yield corporate bonds are expensive compared to the triple B CMBS. So this is something, we got to keep an eye on. So obviously these high yield corporate bonds have clearly been outperforming and are of interest. And then if you see here, investment grade versus AAA, I think it's interesting. I think we have to keep an eye on that in terms of where we put some money. Right now, you know, I cannot deny, I am in bullet shares, and I'm in some high yield stuff. And you know, I'm not quite, I think it was still a work in progress. We still have more work to be done, I guess is what I'm saying. So here's high yield loan. So you have high yield and loan market rates B plus, right? So I don't know what, you know, this is obviously interesting, right? Because of the spread. And I'll defer to Citrini on something like this, but this is a kick-ass spread, and it may be something we want to look at in terms of a flip, but I'm going to let him stew it a bit. I thought that was pretty interesting. Okay, U.S. average hourly earnings by industry, wage growth, leisure, hospitality, right? Information, construction. You know, it's really, 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 really hard for me to get excited about these layoffs when, you know, I mean, it can't be tens of thousands, that's be hundreds of thousands to get my attention. So here you see here, valuation. Now this is a big problem, okay? When you're looking at this in terms of the value discrepancy, this is a big deal. So forward PE, I just think it's fascinating. I just find it fascinating. See how it plays out. The two most important global macro factors, dollar liquidity, China business cycle, and it's starting to turn up here. I think we're in the early innings of China, but regardless, I have my core position, and I look at it as a lotto Friday, okay? I look at it, if you have like Fuchu or whatever, you sell the pops, you take your money, and you maybe you have like a few shares, a few contracts left. I don't trust any of them, okay? Because the reason why I say that, a lot of this is just basically retail trading. These aren't buy and swing type ideas. This is retail getting involved, like BBBY. This is just retail stuff going through right now, okay? We'll see, but you know, you know, I'm swinging a lot less in terms of my, you know, look, I twins myself, Citrini, a lot of the mods, a lot of people got in early in the rally. And, you know, now we just sit back and we just look at the technicals and we let it dictate to us. Do I always have hedges on? Yes, I do. That's just my personal style. That's what I teach. And I think it's, especially, we're still in a bear market. And I still think I'm willing to leave money on the table with hedges, I guess is the most important thing. Doesn't matter whether it's China, Europe, okay, United States, I don't care, I have hedges on. I just sleep better that way. So if I, you know, I don't get any surprises. Falling natural gas prices may, oh, this is nice, 15.8 billion off the UK Treasury spending to support consumers with high energy bills. Jimmy sells 10-year book. We know ECB's further rate hikes will be needed in the coming months at a pragmatic pace. You gotta love how they word the phrasing of this stuff. Okay, I love the language. Okay, Russia Rights Commission important ceasefire have been made during the meeting with Turkish and Ukrainian. Yeah, whatever. Airborne units have surrounded, sold out. You know this. Italian retail sales, yada, 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 boop, 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 bada, boop, bada, boop. Okay, so this is why I swoon over the Oracle of Omaha. If you don't know about this dude, you better, and his buddy, his wingman, you better learn about him fast. Okay, he's forgotten more than I've ever learned in my lifetime. He's worth 110 billion now. He's only 92. And it's growing exponentially. Okay? So I make 10 billion more. I mean, seriously, this dude is spectacular. And everybody mocks him. And slowly, quietly, the guy's making billions and billions and billions of dollars. I'm just saying, come on. Think about it. Apple's market capitalization larger than the combined GDP of 100. Look, I'm an advocate that these indices have to be reweighted. Okay? They have to be, as a reflection of the market as a whole. It's just disingenuous what's going on, okay? But a lot of these, you know, all these hedge funds, asset managers, and stuff like that. They use the S&P as their bellwether, whatever they're going to use, whatever. I don't know. I just find it disturbing. Look, I'm not. I have Apple on, and I'm starting to buy. Everybody's telling me it's going down to 80, 90. Okay, so fine. Okay, then I'll buy more. Right now, so what I do, and this is a share, and it's the same thing as some of the members do. I always hedge, and I'll hedge 1 month out. Okay, in terms of my options portfolio. Right, that's what I do. US CPI, urban consumers year over year, 1960s. Now, don't forget in the 1970s, we had multiple round trippers to all-time highs, making new all-time highs, and then retesting the lows and making new lows, okay? So this is the stickiness, and this is what the Fed's worried about, the stickiness of inflation. And that's why Volcker came in with a battering ram and basically said, okay, I'm chomping on my cigar. If you don't know these people, please educate yourself. These people are important. What they did, how they reacted. The past dictates the present and future. Human nature is to repeat itself. Okay? All right. That's my story. Good story. Apple and Amazon lose nearly $2 trillion pair of tags. Yeah, but that's okay. Whatever. Whatever. All right, Fed balance sheet versus S&P 500 index. This is a bomb. Fed bailout of everything. Look, this started in 2008. It is a little bit disingenuous to be putting any blame on anybody because everybody's to blame over multiple decades. Okay. This balance sheet padding started in 2000, the first quantitative easing, the penultimate, and then it just kept going and going and going and going. And that's why I think, how can we actually go into recession when you've got a balance sheet that's still your quantitative easing with? I mean, if you'd have to get the balance sheet all the way down here. I mean, seriously, down here. Good luck with that. I'm just saying, good luck with that. Okay, so I've been telling you, and I've been pretty articulate about this, that in order for China to get investments, they want foreign direct investors. The only way they're going to get it is if they stabilize their currency, revalue it. Everybody wants to invest in a country that has a strong currency and stable interest rates. This is what it looks like, 101. This is what the Chinese are doing, 101. They opened up. I talked all about this for months about quantitative easing. Okay, this is what I thought would happen. Check, check. I talked about for months about this COVID shit. They finally saw the light of day. And you know what? The sky's not falling. Now they're doing these other things. This is the tailwind that allows China to continue to move forward in terms of their stocks and their GDP. Equal weight outperformed as concentration subsided. Okay, cool. I love this stuff, guys. Look at this. Okay, look at this. Okay. Isn't that cute? I just love bright charts. The CEOs of Canada's largest banks say tens of thousands of Canadians could default. Oh, Canada, this is like an unusual sort of situation. And they're talking the vacancy rate, as mentioned, is at a record high. Something's got to give. I'll defer to my Canadians about this stuff, but this is unusual stuff going on in Canada. It's going to be interesting. And obviously, they no longer allowing foreign investors to buy real estate, right? So, see, one of my peeps talking about hedge funds that I love, 10 blue chips, you had a Microsoft Shark Tank deal for Boeing challenged by debt and high interest rates, but everybody loves it right now, so hold your nose. That's what my friend told me. I kept saying, but the management's so bad. And what did our twins say? At the low, hold your nose and buy, because this is the kind of stock that these asset managers are going to have to chase. You can learn a lot from twins. I learn a lot from twins, and I follow his trades. I didn't do he was doing a bullet share one that I haven't followed. I'm not quite sure about that. All right, so this is what the most popular hedge funds, this is what they're buying. 15th is Tesla, AMD 14th most popular, Home Depot 13th. So I love Thermo Fisher, but it's just so expensive, right? Adobe 11th, ATVI, didn't think that would be there, 10th. T-Mobile, 9th. Now, 8th. UNH, 7th. Apple, 6th. MasterCard, 5th. Visa, 4th. Let's see, my PayPal's on here. Google is the 3rd. Pay attention. Okay. Amazon is the same. Like I say, this is the largest position I've had in Amazon since 2020. Okay. Number 1, Microsoft. Okay. I think that's fascinating. Their value, they think, is 268. I love it. Everybody's got an opinion. Okay, what do we got here? We're ready for the next round of sanctions on war. You know, laid off workers are being scammed online. We know that. All right, let's talk. Okay, Russia, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond plans, more layoffs. So there was an interesting thing. I don't know if any of you guys watch NCIS. There was an interesting construct that they were doing in one of their shows. Basically, I don't think this is actually far-fetched. That basically, I just think it's, you know, there's truth in some of this stuff, that the Russian government allowed these, it's called blood money, and they let these oligarchs leave. And basically they were killing them off so that their money could go back to the state. I don't think that's far-fetched, though. Someone's got a creative idea, but I don't think that's far-fetched. I'm just saying, I thought it was fascinating. Okay. What do we got? Bed Bath & Beyond plans more layoffs and cost cuts. I did swing a little bit of that Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know. North American leaders reach deals on chips, climate, and immigration. This is North America, okay? Customer files. Look, I'm not saying a damn thing, okay? I'm not saying, you know, I can't say anything about this because if you look what's going on, we've got the same sort of thing that Democrats and the Republicans are doing now until this gamesmanship in terms of investigations on these Democrats, the way, I don't know, whatever, the same way. Anyways, I think this politics, the only way we move forward in this country is if they shut this down, but it's not going to be shut down. It's too strong a movement on both sides. I hate it. Fossil fuels are back and booming. Yay. Laid off tech workers are face flooded fake job. Whatever. Look, if you're a smart dude or do that, right, and you basically fall for the scam, okay, I'm not sure, but I want, you know, FFA system continues to be out. They're saying now 9:30, I think. This is crazy. Southwest, now this is crazy. They said it was not a cyber attack. Okay. I agree with you, Chance, on that too. I'm tired of this, but this is what, okay, we have a Cold War inside this country. This Cold War is between Democrats and Republicans. Until that Cold War abates, we don't really go anywhere meaningfully, okay, in terms of any sort of law, anything. We don't go anywhere, okay? We just literally don't go anywhere. Just saying. Okay, Nikkei, Japan, and UK to sign landmark defense cooperation treaty. Yeah. China will need more than promises to sway macros from the US. I agree with that. I agree with that. Actions and deeds, right? China crest first infection waves since abandoning. So basically, it's herd immunity. Welcome to the world of herd immunity, right? Ford set to tap LG for Turkey EV battery plant, replacing SK. Cool. I love this truck. I might start buying a Ford again. I don't know. I might write puts on it again. Goldman staff braces global job cuts begin. Fighting wages. You know, there's no happiness here. Okay, so what happened? This is interesting. A big hedge came on. For February, right? 114 ports on Tesla. TMO, oh my God, I'm swooning. I mean, as you can see, this is one crazy ass expensive stock. AbbVie, I love, I love AbbVie. I started to add back in again. Kraft Heinz, Vodafone. There was a lot going on here with Vodafone. Look, we've been Domino's. I gotta put that in my blotter here because I told you about play. We did Shack Attack. I'm in Dave and Buster's. I do think there's I'm up 17% on the shout out on this play. I think I'm gonna do. I love Domino's pizza. I haven't traded in a long time, and I missed it when it was in the low 300s. So kicking myself on that. But anyways, these are the types of things I like to look at. All right, so let's see insider stuff going on for yesterday. BTMD, meh, meh. All right, so let's say individual ones. We have 4.1 Howl, HOWL, I believe this was spoken about. Let's look at insider sales. These were tied to options, so a lot of this was tied to options. MFA Bull and was not. So obviously Starwood Capital, 10%. Excuse me. A little bit of a goal for my sons. This is what happens when they're around. Well, anyways, 69%. This is 69% stud. We'll give them that, okay? Gaming and leisure, GLPI, 17%. Okay. Let's take a look at the downgrades now for today. Look at this. This is just the past week, friends. So lots of activity going on in terms of our friends, analyst friends. All right. We got some top dogs here. Citigroup, Paul's 81% stud, but only 0.64%. Goldman Sachs, this is up, Keysight. I mean, seriously, no price, BTIG, but he's a 73% stud. C.H. Robinson, XPO, downgrade, but 12%. You see how I have problems here? It's so disingenuous, and people follow this stuff. It could be a 20% stud. Dump. I can't say stud. I gotta say wimp. I don't know. Whatever. People follow this stuff because it's from Goldman Sachs. But if you only write 21% of the time, why are people following this person? And they do. Okay, year to date. Retail, restaurants, bada boom, 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 boom. Let's see if this continues another day. We'll know if I see Shack Attack printing. We had a lot of fun with that. So as you can see, like the SHC I gave, these are the things, this is my action plan. I'm gonna pick a couple of these things that have nice volume, that's retail driven, and then we follow it and see what happens. So far, so good. Royalty trusts, still coal, all this stuff, whatever. I don't care. If that's no cut, that's whatever. I apologize. Like I say, I do have a cold. Caught something. Japanese feel the worst off since 2010. Look, this has been going on for decades. Anyone who's been involved in Asia Pacific Rim, this has really been the sun setting on the Japanese empire. I mean, it's really hard. And it's sad for, this is what I would studied East Asian in undergrad, and I asked, anyways, it's sad. I have such mad respect for the culture, the Asian culture. Anyways, Gunlex says, listen to Bond Mug. Hey, look, no da. Seriously, we know. We know. But hey, he's got to keep spewing it. I still think we invert further, and that continues until we're like in mid-June. That's why I don't want to be in the short end, and then I'll start piling in the short end. Where's your fund director sought no discount rate change? Okay. we'll see how this plays out. Don't forget we have a more dovish voting block now. And we'll start to see some of these things are going to start peeling away. I mean, this is just basically representation of what's going on. Do not underestimate the impact to GDP with what's going on in California. I'm telling you right now. This is my opinion. When you have such a massive component of GDP going through what they're going through, and I beg and I hope, I have to talk to my girlfriend, see if she's okay. Anyone in California, my prayers are out to you. This is serious stuff going on. But this also has ramifications in terms of GDP, okay? It's going to be a huge impact. I don't know, it's not going to be this one, but the next one. I'm serious about this. Next quarter that represent the first quarter. It's a big deal. Okay. What do we got? Bullish. And then we get, this is the Russell, and you see here at the end of the month. So guess what? Earnings, right? Let's see the S&P earnings, right? So we have to think we have some tailwind still. This is the bugaboo with the earnings going on. That's why I will be hedged into earnings. I already told you with the Dow, this is for the next 2 months, I'm using the Dow as one of my hedges, okay, on an overweight, just because it looks the worst, okay? And then you can see here, and then the composite, not so much. But even so, you have to be aware the earnings cycle can be nasty. So this is 73% down on day 21. Okay, I don't know who's reporting on that, but obviously you can think about it's going to be a tech sector, right? Involvement. Right? So I will be hedged. New bull market, emerging markets, we know the drill here, yeah. 71%, 1 month out, 2%. I'm not touching emerging markets. MSCI, bullish, 2 months out. Okay, so this is the big one with the McClellan summation. When it's less than 1,000, then rebounds to greater than 0, and then oof. Okay, this has happened 4 times, 1999. Guess what? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. 100%, friends. But it's only happened 4 times. 100%. I love statistics. Volatility down, right? Consumer staples, healthcare. Yeah, what's up, retail? Semis, home builders. Money flows coming out of tech, and into financials, crude oil, consumer discretionary. Here we go, utilities, financials, buy overbought. Sensex Nifty 50, so India is oversold. And then bonds, you can see money coming out of the short end and going into the long end, and junk, obviously junk and high yield. I'm in LQD and HYG as a disclosure. Turkey down. What's up? Poland, Nigeria, Peru. And then countries ranked by lowest high money flows, United States, China. Okay. Lumber, cattle. This was all day they was buying puts on this one. And then this one continues to be extended and bought. They keep buying it. So you can see here, right? This is Poland, right? Like, Nigeria, Peru, right? And UNG, right? And we got this. Okay. And we can see here. So India still continues to be a little bit softish. Here's a Kospi. Okay, let's take a peek. But bonds, right? So like I say, you can see here, the inversion continues to happen. This is why I want to be in the longer end of the curve, because look what's going on in the 1030, and that's why I'm in 1020. Okay, I have a little bit of 7 to 10 as well. Okay. Canada, all across the board in Europe, UK, and down Australia, Hong Kong. Pretty cool move, right? I don't know why this is on here. All right, beer flagging still. Like I said, my narrative is that we continue to go lower. We're not done on the inversion. We're flagging. Okay. Here's the 530. All right. It is breaking below. And this is more a function of time, right? The decline. So I have to see about this extension here, that holding. Okay. But it is still, we'll see how it plays out. It looks like an H, but you know, it could be just a consolidator before it plays out, but I don't think so. 10-year, you can see here, this is price. All right. So this is the big thing. This is the key pivot. We have to break and hold above 121. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the hourly. Okay. Let's look at the monthly now. We still have not broken this monthly downtrend line. It comes in at 121.28.5. Keep an eye on this. It's still bear flagging. We have, but obviously this would be the first positive on this bear flag. All right. China, I continue to say, I don't think if they're going beyond this though. This is the range I think they're going to be in. And here you have Germany. Interesting, triple top now. Range bound. I don't see we're going to break out of it anytime soon. Dollar breaking down. Let's see. I don't know. You know, it's hard to make money in that right now. And then you can see here the revaluation continues on the Chinese new one. Cryptos, who cares? But hey, there you go. Commodities, green across the board. Love it. Do it. Let's have it. All right. I told you I'm in aluminum. I'm in steel. I'm in DBC. You know, I'm in gold. I'm in oil. I'm in natty gas. I mean, look at all this stuff: zinc, nickel, copper. All these things are rallying nicely. What's down? Coffee. Okay. Lumber continues, but who cares? I mean, if you look at the breadth of this, over 3/4 is up. All right, so that's pretty cool right there. Natty gas, like I say, I'm still holding this. Okay, this is my 340 is my stop on my position. Okay, and I'll keep accumulating it. Let's bring up some DBC. I bought some of this recently. Let's take a peek at that. Okay. Reclaim. All right, I want to jump quickly because I'm going to do, you know what? I'm going to do Amazon. All right, so here's Amazon. All right, double bottom forming, check, check, check. Let's see if we can get some. So now I have a well-defined risk reward on this. All right, I bought off this double bottom. Okay. And my, I'm overweight Amazon, and my entry point was 85, and I have AMCU. So, you know, look, I'm not going to be stupid about this. I'm going to start peeling it back because I'm already up a lot on some of these things. Okay. Let's look at FANG against Amazon. Okay. So let's start talking here. We have a double top that started. Okay. Check, check. All right. This is a weekly, and you can see it's going to be monthly as well. But all right. So let's look at the monthly on this one. Okay. Double top, check, check. All right. So ish. Okay. So this is the first thing I like to look at, and you know I do this. Okay. So this has been taken to the woodshed, tarred feathered since October. So the move from October all the way here to December was breathtaking, the decline. Amazon, Apple, even Amazon is starting to curl up against Apple. Notable, keep an eye on that, reclamation. QQQ against Amazon. See, double top here. We still have a long way to go on this. This is just the beginning of the narrative. This is just, I'm thinking right now, talking out loud. And this has been going on since 2020. Okay. All right. This is a big deal. All right. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, look, it's obvious if we take out this double top. But now, once again, I have a risk going. So this is telling me I can be overweight Amazon. Okay. Here's Amazon against Tesla. Now, this is kind of interesting because this is the opposite. Tesla looks like it's starting to bottom here against Amazon. Amazon against Shopify. Amazon looks like it's starting to bottom against Shopify. These are all the little pieces of puzzle that I like to look at. Oh. So you can see here, same sort of little topping, well-defined risk reward. Now, you know the drill here. How this declines is more than likely, right? So don't forget Amazon, Tesla, key components of XLY. Okay, so as you can see here, Amazon is slowly starting to strengthen in the basket. All right, so that's another positive for me. Amazon, Bobalicious. Now, obviously, Amazon has been taken to the woodshed with Bobalicious, but we're getting close here, and I'd love to see this overtake Baba, but I don't know if it will. Amazon against Meta. Look at this decline. Okay, so what are we looking for? A reclamation, right? Obviously, of the this key pivot. All right, let's see if it happens. Amazon against Microsoft, double bottom. Okay. I don't care about Oak. All right, well, I'm doing some of these. All right, let's look at a little bit at FinTech. Consolidate sideways. Okay, let's look at Square. Bouncing off that little double bottom into the mid. Let's look at Shopify. I think Shopify is very interesting, to be honest with you, down here. It's. I mean, let's be honest. It has to start making money, right? I mean, but I don't even know what its for PE multiple is. Let's take a peek. I mean, it's been negative because but well, how negative is it now? I guess degrees of negativity. Yeah, it's got them still making money. I don't know when, but who knows? Yeah, I hear you, twins, on that, but it's true. It's true. Right. We've got Twilio here. Let's take a peek. Okay, so this is really starting to look interesting. Okay. I mean, it's well-defined risk reward on the monthly, right? I mean, literally. I mean, the low here, the pivot is 41, right? But granted, it's already up quite a bit. But I mean, this could be an interesting bounce trade. I mean, this is just in its infancy. If we are going to get a rally, these are the types of things that's going to rally. Here's U, sideways consolidation, multi-month. You know the drill on that one. Here's SC, multi-month sideways consolidation. So a lot of these fintech names, just multi-month sideways consolidation. So we will make the breakouts in these very, very, very powerful, just so you know. Okay. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ. It still looks fine. I mean, it's holding. I mean, it has to break this. All right, so here we are. Now, don't forget, because of the steepness of the slope in this is a function of time versus price in terms of this breaking out. Okay. And as a result of that, it's not as meaningful. And the reason why I say that, the closer you get to the apex of any sort of formation like this, it becomes less. Now, if let's say we were, the gap was way wider, that would be something different. Okay.
All right, Beth, I'm ready to pop on whenever here. Alrighty, guys, morning. What's going on? Thank you so much, Beth. If you guys are new to chat, have already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop into chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to, guys, when you do come in is that disclaimer section. Click on that, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section and scroll to the very, very top. Now, if you guys are joining us on this YouTube stream, obviously you've probably most likely seen it before, but what's going to happen here, obviously, now that Beth's done, I'm going to be coming on. We're going through the individual names that are gapping up, gapping down, and then once that's done, Selfish can come on, go through the macro environment. We'll do a quick little recap before the open. So you'll see what's going on after this, but pretty straightforward stuff. So if you guys are new to chat, like I said, click on that new to chat information, scroll to the top, read it from top to bottom. We'll go through this once we do close down that YouTube stream. Pre-market tickers on watch. What do you got going on today, guys? A couple different things: Tesla, VA, AAX, NX, LRCX, CRM, and VIOR. So Tesla gapping up and safely the market, VA gapping up and safely the market as well. AX, NX, these guys are gapping down as they see Q4 earnings or Q4 revs and fiscal 2023 revs above consensus, or the gapping up, I should say. LRCX gapping down simply with ICHR earnings. CRM, Bernstein cuts to underperform, $119 price target. The VIR gapping up in continuation momentum from last day. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, going to be that Tesla, going to be that BA. So let's have a look at both from a technical standpoint. So we've loved the look of BA. As you guys know, I've been talking about it for quite some time here. We got Tesla BA. Let's have a look. All right, so gonna get some EMA resistance here. Level there. I think we're probably gonna be okay with these levels. Let me just look on the intraday chart and take a quick look. Yep. Okay. All right, so pivot to the upside today, give me 123.18. That level's able to hold. Got room towards the and that's my opinion, of course. 123.18, this level's able to hold. You got room for continuation towards 128.43 to 135.10. Unable to hold 117.84, 113.48 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral on Tesla. Done a really good job of holding up. Got to get back above short-term EMA support for continuation. It's going to be testing it right here this morning. But I do like the look. It's had some pretty good strength this as of late. So I'm thinking we do get some continuation there. On that name, let's take a look at this BA here. I do need to label this recent range high. Just going to replace that intraday just because it's a little bit easier. So this has been one of my favorite names for the last, I don't know, 3-4 months, something like that. It's the upside and continues to push nicely here. Pivot to the upside today is going to be the 210.29. This level is able to hold. You got room towards that 213.84 spot. That level breaks 218.95 in my opinion. Unable to hold 204.94 to the 199.42 on the downside. Overall in BA leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. So last 2 days, like I said, you were a little extended to the upside. You fill that extension gap. You got a flag set up, and now you're going to be testing that flag break back to the upside. So overall, it looks very nice and bullish in the short term for continuation. So that's Tesla, let's BA. Let's take a look at AX, NX, and LRCX. So AX, NX gapping up on their guide, or preliminary guide, I should say. And pretty thin volume, but coming off the lows, pretty decent looking chart from a technical standpoint. It moves in a very interesting thin range typically. Okay. 61.14 pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. That level is able to hold 63.53, 64.78. Next two resistance levels I have. Unable to hold 58.71 to 57.02 on the downside. You're leaning bullish neutral, but looking for a slight pullback this morning and then some sort of flag pattern to form or bullish range break consolidation to form. I don't think it's just going to go straight through it. I think it's going to need to consolidate for a second here at this range and then see if it can break through that pivot point. That is the AXNX. Let's take a look at LRCX. So gapping down here, 448. I love this daily chart from a bullish standpoint, actually. Back above all EMA support, that's a big downtrend that's going to be tested. Obviously, got this slight pullback for now, but still looks pretty good in my opinion. 447.26 pivot levels able to hold 456.80 to 465.06. That level gets taken out. 470.20, 471.23 will be tested. My opinion on the upside. Unable to hold 438.54, 432, 73. The next supports I got. Overall on this LRCX, I am going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side today, looking for a curl off the lower end supports or even the pivot for a push back to the upside. Still really do like the daily chart, like I was saying. I think this is kind of a, whatever pullback in sympathy with that ICHR. I don't think it really is going to matter too much. LRCX is much higher quality than that name anyways. All right, CRM and VIOR. All right, 142.85 pivot to the upside today. Level holds 149.17 to 153.79. Unable to hold 137.98 to the 133.55 is what I have on the downside. Overall on CRM, I'm going to be leaning on the bearish neutral side today, looking for a continued pullback. I'm thinking you get around to that 138 area, in my opinion, which is the uptrend retest on the short term. So it's got a little bit more room to pull back. So that's a little uptrend. I guess maybe it's going to be around probably by the time it gets to 139-ish. So we'll see what happens in that regard. But that's where it's got room to, in my opinion, there. BIOR, 671. This little pivot here. All right. Let's take a look at today, guys. Just getting a whole bunch of different levels. It's, thing is a mover. 692 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to hold 765, 972. I got levels above that if we need them. Unable to hold 580, 521, 469, 406. And on this name, going to be leaning at the moment bullish neutral. Out the gate, looking for a pop, and then we can see whether or not we get some topping in the afternoon and a little bit of a pullback. But the volume was pretty damn good on it yesterday. We'll see if that continues this morning out the gate. And yeah, I mean, you got to be a little bit cautious on these types of names, but they have had some pretty decent follow through as of late. So we'll see how she acts this morning, and we'll see how much volume it gets for continuation. Let's take a look at the SPY and FANG. All right, guys, market, what's going on here? So SPY continuing to push. We do have CPI data tomorrow. We'll see how the market acts into it today. It's going to be some more positioning, in my opinion. 390.92 pivot levels able to hold 392.37, 394.12, 395.97. Next, a couple supports, in my opinion. Unable to hold resistance levels. Unable to hold 389.09, 387.05 to 383.72 on the downside. Overall, on the SPY, going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side today out the gate, in my opinion. We'll see where she goes. I'm thinking we get a retest of this recent range high from Tuesday, I guess it is. Sorry, from Monday. No, Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. Sorry. Monday, and then we can see whether or not we can break through. If we can, obviously we get some nice room for continuation. If we can't, then we're probably going to stick within or pull back within last day's range. So we'll see what happens in that regard. That is the SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. And again, the market looks good on the daily. You're above the 50 MA. You are flag breaking to the upside in the short term, hourly, and I see no reason not to like it, to be honest. Let's take a look at Apple. See how my bubbles ready. Written down. All right, so Apple, you still got, similar to the market, a little bit of an EMA support reclaim though, and a flag to the upside. 31.43 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to hold 132.85, 134.61, unable to hold 128.65, 125.84 on the downside will be tested overall on Apple, leaning bullish, neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. So that is Apple. Let's take a screenshot of that. Let's move on to Amazon. So I do like the look of Amazon as well. It's a good looking daily chart. 90.87 pivot, levels able to hold. Room towards 93.92 to 97.49. Unable to hold 89.91 to 87.08 on the downside. Overall on Amazon, leaning bullish, neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. So that is Amazon. Let's take a look at Netflix. Nice little flag, and sorry, nice little cut off lows, really 50 MA on the daily. I think it looks pretty damn good. So Netflix, another decent looking FANG chart. Now this one's coming into that massive range test on the upside here, as you guys can see it. I'm gonna go with 322.08 as the pivot to the upside today. Level holds, we're gonna be looking at that 330, 148 if it breaks. If it breaks, we got room towards 340.84 in my opinion. Unable to hold 322.08. 310.56 will be tested on the downside. I'm actually gonna put a little bit of a level there, 316.88. There you go. Overall on Netflix, I'm leaning bullish, looking for a retest of that recent range high. We'll see if we can break through. It's gonna be massive level of resistance. So might not be able to get through it, but we'll see if we can. I would be surprised to see, names push a little bit to the upside today and then get rejected at these resistance levels before the CPI, right? We'll see if they, they front run it, but before the data comes up, but I'm not sure. Sure, it's going to be what they want to do. You just gotta wait to see what the price action's like. 130.90 pivot to the upside today on Meta. Level holds 135.61 to 137.78. Unable to hold 127.14, 124.86. I'm leaning truly on the bullish neutral side of this name today. In my opinion, I think you're gonna get a little bit of a grind higher. Pop, kind of pull back, they can just basically continuing this little uptrend kind of on Meta. Google, look at that. Google 88.39 pivot, level holds 932 to 91.62, unable to hold 87.19, 85.84 downside, leading on the bullish interest side of Google, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. Again, another name I like off the lows. A little bit of a curl there, trying to reclaim EMA support. I think it looks pretty darn good. It's just a matter of this getting confirmation above its short-term EMA support off the lows, which in this case is that pivot point for Google. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Probably the least bullish of all the FANG, just because it doesn't have that confirmation that the other ones do have. All right, let's take a look at the VIX, Qs, and IWM, and not the IWM. I'm going to look at the SPX instead. So VIX, guys, pivot 21.14, levels able to hold 2247, unable to hold, I'll be looking for a pullback towards 2019. I use the VIX for direction on the market, so I'm not leaning any direction. I'm just using it as a tool to trade the SPY or the SPX. That's the VIX. Let's take a look at the QQQ. Oops. QQQs. So very similar to the Amazon chart, actually. 270.81 level holds, 277.05, 282.86. Sorry, 76 in my opinion. Unable to hold 266.84 to 262.09 on the downside. Overall on the QQQ, going to be leaning bullish neutral. Looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Want to see it retest that 50 MA on the daily, which essentially is 275. So it's not too far away. 275, what, 76? Yeah. A couple more points. All right, last but not least, SPX. SPX 39.14.54 level holds, 39.41, unable to hold 38.87 on the downside. Overall, leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Leaning bullish neutral, in my opinion, as well, of course. And yeah, see what happens in that regard. So that's the SPY FANG individual names I'm looking at today. Let's take, so I'm going to go ahead and pass over to South Beach while I type up that pre-market action plan, guys. I'm going to do a quick little recap for the open. South Beach, if you're ready, she's all yours for now.
Okay, hey guys. Okay, let's see what we got. Futures are pushing a little bit. Bond market's down a little bit, right? 358 on the 10-year. Okay, so that's at the lower end of the range. Let's look at that spread. 358.42, 62, about 68 basis points, which is kind of on the upper end of the range as of late, right? Look, 50, 80s the range, kind of. So rates are down there. Looking over in London, rates are down a lot over there. Real lot, okay? That 10-year is down almost 0.15, which is a monster move, okay? You don't see moves like that very often. Curve is just flat. No inversion at the moment, dead flat, okay? And if you look at through Germany, rates are down quite a bit there, 0.09 at 221. Italy, France, same old, all right? Japan is what, 0.5, it's gonna stay there. But that's so the rate move is down, okay? I think that has to do with a lot of things. One was the World Bank lowered their growth rate quite a bit. Say the world, the global economy is on the verge of a recession and all this other stuff. Maybe they're thinking Fed's pivot, what have you. Anyway, that's the bond market. Let's look at commodities this morning. Interesting enough, with all that talk of slowdown, you have oil up. All right, so it's a little bit of a bounce. What do we got? 160 it's up or so. Yeah. All right, that's not surprising. It's been trading, kind of in a range, but lower, moving from top left to lower right, and maybe it stabilizes at these levels. We know the U.S. government's a big buyer at 70, right? So there is some kind of floor there as they want to fill up the SPR that they've been dwindling down. Natural gas is pretty flat, up 7 cents at 371. That, I've been saying for the last week or two, shocked the shit out of me. Gold up, silver up, copper flat, trading range there, moving up though, out of the trading range kind of to 412. So we may get them. Look, you know what I think of material stocks. I've made it abundantly clear. Okay, in my opinion, this is a good place to be. Okay, as China reopens and whatnot, lack of investment, yada yada yada. Okay. So that's copper. The agricultural commodities are basically up this morning, but these guys, they're in a tight range. You get coffee's down 4%, but you got some of the others up just slightly. things are back to normal, it seems, in the agriculture commodity world. All right. You know, pre-pandemic, pre-Ukraine, you know, that kind of stuff. All right. Currency wise, so dollars mixed against North America. It's up a little bit against the yen, so only slightly. So 151 to now 132. The Chinese currency, the volatility in that is quite remarkable. It was over 7, now it's 677, kind of flattish on the day, down a tinge. Europe, the euro's up to 107 from 95, where I think that was about the low. Pound is 121, so that's mixed there. Currencies are pretty flat today. Crypto, we got Bitcoin down 0.3, Ethereum down 0.7, and Solana down 4%. That's only 64 cents though, guys. And last but not least, the foreign markets. What do we have? FTSE's up 1%, DAX up 1%, CAC up 1%, Nikkei up 1%. China's down a little bit, and Hong Kong's kind of flattish. Okay, that's the backdrop. So once basically, I was watching these, you know, futures yesterday against the VIX, and I was shocked it wasn't going. When I was on the phone, you know, on the mic, I said, I'm really shocked the market's not getting in gear here. And then finally it did. I think it had to do with a couple of things, one of which was Powell didn't say anything. So I asked myself this question: why didn't he say anything? Does he know that the CPI report is going to be muted and that bullish for stocks? Maybe he knows that, and he didn't want to, you know, get bearish in front of it and look like an idiot. That's my inclination. Or maybe I don't really get it, because when every other time when the market, you know, starts to ramp up, he tries to, you know, put the kibosh on it. And this time he said nothing. So maybe he has the number in advance. I don't know. I know this. Well, I don't know this. This is what I'm thinking. I think the market opens up today, trades up to trade lower in the day as people reduce risk, and then we'll see what's what tomorrow with the CPI. That's my mantra for today. Okay, so if I have longs, which I do, I'll probably pare back some and see how they trade. Okay, kind of like what was the day when he was supposed to speak yesterday? So on Tuesday, you had that downdraft late in the day. I kind of think that's the way it's going to play out, but who knows? I'll watch the tape. That's my inclination, but I'm allowed to change my mind. Okay, just my opinion. So we have the banks and Fed. We'll see what's what with the CPI tomorrow. I would imagine that if the CPI number comes in a bullish tone, meaning, you know, inflation looks like it's trending better than expectations, lower, I would imagine that the Fed governors will be out in full force trying to talk the market down, you know, next week. We'll see. Okay, and then you have earnings. You have a lot of earnings on Friday, so that's something. So we have to watch. Okay, so that's that. All right, so China, I don't know. There was some kind of joint decision in Congress about China, whatever. You know, I think that's the only thing that the Democrats and Republicans agree on, is that we have to keep, you know, a focus on China. Other than that, they don't seem to agree on very much. That's really it out of those guys. Other than the fact that they're complaining that people are targeting Chinese in travel, and it turns out South Korea was saying that 50% of their new COVID cases are coming straight from people coming from China into Korea. So, you know, typical Chinese reaction. Russia, what's going on there? This oil price cap, which I didn't think would work, quite frankly, is working. It's costing currently $170 million a day for Russia, as the price is people will pay for their oil has gone down, and they think it's going to increase to even more than that. So I think that's kind of interesting. I read that Russians, you know, they're taking. Remember we talked about how they're taking prisoners out of jail and throwing them into Ukraine. Well, if they don't charge the enemy, they shoot them. So that's what there was a piece on Bloomberg about that. Very unique country, Russia. What more can you say? They're still continuing to bomb, yada, yada, yada. Nothing's really changing with that. Oil, we kind of discussed, a little bit of a bounce. I think not a surprise, quite frankly. Crypto, I'm not involved. I saw today that they were talking about guys who got wasted from the FTX bankruptcy. They mentioned Brady and his ex-wife, Giselle, the owner of the Patriots and guys like that. They say how many shares of FTX they own, but I don't know what price they got in, so it's hard to say. Brady had 1.1 million shares. Giselle had about half of that, whatever. You don't know if they got it for free. You don't know anything really. It's just a number. Dollar, we discussed Mr. Market yesterday. So you had that kind of sort of real push up, like at about 1 o'clock. And I thought the day was like kind of going to be a real nothing day. And then all of a sudden, wow, it's just a great environment. I was very long and it worked out pretty well. I sold a fair amount of my longs, but I kept some. And that's molded into today. But what's the only thing I think that was bad yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I wrote it. I always write this stuff down, guys. What consumer non-durables and fertilizers. Retails was strong, semis, FANG, casino stocks, solar was very strong, and retail was strong. Okay. Today, group rotation. I want you to be very careful in being long insurance stocks. I got a feeling that these things are going to be heavy. I know they're opening higher, but be careful. Okay, that's just my opinion. Other than that, group rotation wise, I still like the material names a lot. And you'll see what happens if rates keep going lower, guys. These high PE tech stocks should start to work. I see they're bid up a little bit this morning, and it's probably bullish for FANG stocks as well. Some coverage in these. Yeah, were you talking about research, Twins? Because I did see some research. Yeah, but they're down big in Europe, and that's what I'd rather. I think that these research guys are a bunch of freaking idiots. Okay, the more they like something, the more I hate it. So that's that. My take on that. What's working now? Material stocks are working. Boeing's working. You saw that downgrade, right? Opened down 6 to close basically flattish. Now it's up this morning on a couple of recommendations. You saw Norwegian Cruise Lines, what they did. But basically, materials are working. Boeing's working. These Baba's working big time. And that's really, and some of these small stocks are working pretty good. Okay. What else do we have? Gabelli was on this morning. He's kind of negative on earnings in the first half of the year. He thinks the whole year will be challenged, higher taxes for corporations, et cetera, et cetera. He thinks 24 is going to be a good year. Stifel, who has some pretty good macro analysts, they think the market is going to be dead flat for a decade, which isn't the first guy to say that. We know Druckenmiller said the same thing. But for us guys, it doesn't matter, okay? They go up, they go down. As long as we catch the volatility, who gives a shit, right? So you can make plenty of money in a flat market as long as they move, okay, intraday. FAA, you saw that computer snafu they're having, causing these airline stocks to open lower. I was very long this group, which I told you guys during the day, and I got flat at the end of the day. I don't have a single share, so I might wade back into these. I'll see how they act. Okay. Wells Fargo stepping back from the mortgage business. Gunlack, and this is something I 100% agree with, tremendously in favor of non-US equities, and he likes the bond market. I think the dollar really kind of peaked for a long time to come, and I think that's beneficial to every other market except the US. So, especially these the smaller countries. So I agree with this comment on that. Wells Fargo stepping back from mortgage business. Apple, the App Store growth is slowing. There was a whole column on that. No shit, everybody's downloaded most of the apps they use. You don't see many new apps. So the fact that the App Store is slowing, I think, is completely irrelevant. I mean, right? I mean, you have every app you use. Well, how often do you download a new app? Almost never. Okay, so that's that. White House, what do they do? And they want to, that student loan thing is never going through. So they're trying to do a workaround where they can, where it wouldn't be going to the Supreme Court and trying to get payments down, whatever. He's just trying to buy votes, in my opinion, but you all guys are entitled to your own. 22 was the worst year ever for the bond market. Tesla looking to expand their gigafactory. Goldman liked Tesla and GM as top picks for 23. I don't think they would know a top pick if they bid them in the ass. GM is a perennial disappointer, and Tesla, it looks like the bloom is off the rose to me, but we'll see. Apple is trying to make their own screens now. That's a negative for Samsung and LG. They're going to start in 24, and they're going to make screens in-house. I think that's interesting. Illinois is banning the sale or possession of semi-automatic weapons. It's about time. And that's the big news of the day. Okay, macro stuff. Let's look at individual stocks. Okay, see what we have there. Okay, as far as good earnings, AXNX, VSCO, that's Victoria's Secret, and INMD. BWEN, they make the towers for wind turbines. They got a $170 million order. Stock's up a bunch on that. You have momentum stocks from Friday. You've got this BIOR, which I didn't take, Party, which I did, Bed Bath & Beyond, which I did, and Jack's, which I did not. Okay, what else do we have? PROK is up on a diabetes drug. HEPA had positive data on a cancer drug. LASE has got a 2 million share buyback. MASI won an FTC ruling for patent infringement against Apple. HKD, which a lot of us trade, there'll be no insider selling until August of 24. So the stock is up on that. Okay. WWE, Vince McMahon back in charge. And that's on the bullish side. On the negative, we have this ICHR, HALO, and CVLT, and AHCO, which all had negative earnings news. Levi, be careful of this one. They say there's a slowdown in denim demand, and airlines are down because of this computer outage. So that's that. Okay. As far as research is concerned, the big calls on the day: Coin, Mizuho goes to a sell, initiate. I think it's an initiation actually. Let me just double check that. They got a bunch of guys downgrading this stock. Mizuho was looks like an initiation. Target 30. All right, look, I hate this stock, guys, because I think the big guys are going into the crypto trading business, and that's the end of coin. All right, you can throw them in the ground, and you can throw dirt on top of the body. Who would use Coinbase when you can use one of these big guys and be FDIC insured, or SIPC insured, or whatever the hell it is? So I think these guys are doomed. So Coin was downgraded by 4 guys. Bank of America won, Mizuho, a couple of other guys. All right. What else? CRM, Bernstein, equal weight to sell, target 134 to 119, stocks 147. Basically, they say their growth is slowing and their valuation is high versus peers. So that's significant. CarMax was downgraded to sell at JP with a 60 target. Levi was downgraded to neutral at Citi. I'm going to be taking a look at that one this morning. That's really it on the sell side that I could see. Oh, and a lot of guys don't like BBBY. I don't care what they think. With the volume on the upside, I'm into it. Boeing, a couple of guys like that this morning. Wells Fargo likes it, and there was someone else who liked it with a big target. 240, I think, was the target. Look, the stock act's great. What else do you want to know? Who was it? JP Morgan, 207 target. Wells Fargo, 240 target. Okay, that's really it on the research that I can see. ALGT was downgraded. That's really it. All right. That's what I kind of think. The morning will be better than the afternoon, and we'll see. Okay. I'm going to pass it to Spartan. Let's have another good day, guys. Keep the ball rolling, and it's all yours, my man.
All right, thanks, South Beach guys. Morning, what's going on? What's up? So a couple different things that we're looking at today. If you guys are new to chat, have already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're gonna pop into Discord. It's gonna look something like this. First area to go to when you guys do comment disclaimer section, click on that, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, see a link to the disclaimer, as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both, in my opinion. In regards to risk reward, guys, I wouldn't trade if it were me, unless I fully understood how to apply this, because from a mathematical standpoint, you can't be profitable over the long term unless you skew this ratio in your favor. So it's definitely important. Continue to scroll down. You have summary of how this chat works, breaks down all these channels work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. Continue to scroll down. You have how to read alerts on the options and equity side. Basically, pretty straightforward how to read alerts from both sides. Below this, options rules that we use, or that I use or like to use for the options ideas for Monday to Thursday, in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're curious on that, you can give that a read. The SPX rules that I like to try to use every single day for the SPX ideas. Below that, we have any of the small account less than 10K. Now, this is just my opinion, but this is what I did when I was growing my smaller accounts. I used these rules and, figured if maybe they can help you guys as well. So they're there. And then how to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective, just breaking down how to overlay your own criteria on top of the ideas, so you're left with only things that do make sense. All right, pre-market takers on watch. What do we got going on today, guys? A couple different things. If you guys are watching the YouTube stream, you can pause it and read this. CRM, BOR, AXNX, LRX, Tesla, BA, the options area. Is the options chart for you guys. Okay. So a lot of data this morning, of course. We always get all the other charts are posted, of course, as well. It went over Tesla, BA, AXNX, LRCX, CRM, BIOR. So Tesla gapping up and with the market, BA gapping up and with the market, AXNX. These guys see Q4 revs and fiscal 2023 revs above consensus. LRCX gapping down in sympathy with ICHR. CRM Bernstein cuts to underperform $119 price target, and BIOR gapping up a continuation momentum. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're going to be looking at today, guys, are Tesla and that BA. So let's have a look at those. Rip through them. Oh, there we go. So Tesla BA, guys, let's have a look. Tesla 123.18 pivot level holds 128.43, 135.10, unable to hold 117.84, 113.48 on the downside. Overall on Tesla leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. VA 210.26 level holds 213.84, 218.95, unable to hold 204.94, 199.42 downside. Overall on VA leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Let's take a look at the next two names, guys. AXNX and LRCX. So this name gapping up a little bit on the, kind of thin volume here, guys, but this thing typically moves on thin volume. 61.14 pivot level hold 63.53, 64.78, unable to hold 58.71, 57.02 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral on AXNX, looking for a bullish consolidation before the next leg up, though. That's what I'm looking for that one. LRCX 447.26 pivot levels unable to hold 438.54, 430. 273, able to hold 456.80, 465.06 on the upside. Overall on LRCX, leading bullish neutral only if that pivot point can hold as well. Let's take a look at CRM and BIOR. CRM pivot to the downside today, 142.85 in my opinion. Levels unable to hold 137.98, 133.55. Able to hold 149.17, 153.79 on the upside. Overall, CRM leading bearish neutral, looking for continuation lower if that pivot point is unable to hold, in my opinion. BOR 692 pivot, levels unable to hold 580, 521, able to hold 765, 972 on the upside. Overall on BIOR, leading bullish neutral only if that pivot point can hold. Let's take a look at Spine Bang. Market, guys, pivot to the upside today, in my opinion, 390.92. Levels able to hold 392.37, 394.12. Unable to hold 3. I should be typing this up as well. Let me just do that real quick. So 290.92 pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. This level holds room into the 392.37 resistance breaks. We see the 394. Tesla. Pivot unable to hold. Lower. Into the 389.09 support. Breaks, you can see 387.05 tested. Leaning bullish. Neutral. So I'm leaning bullish neutral on the SPY if that pivot point is able to hold. So we'll see what happens in that regard, guys. But I do like the market. I do think it looks pretty good for continuation there. So that's SPY. Let's take a look at the rest here. Apple pivot upside today is going to be the 130.15 spot. Levels able to hold, in my opinion. 131.43, 132.85, unable to hold 128.65 and 125.84 on the downside will be tested. Overall on the on Apple, sorry, leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold. So let's Apple, let's take a look at Amazon here. Amazon pivot to the upside today with 90.87. Levels able to hold 93, 92, 97, 49, unable to hold 88, 91, 87, 08. Downside leaning bullish on that name as well, in my opinion. Netflix pivot upside today is going to be the 322.08 level hold, 331.48, unable to hold 316.88, 310.56 on the downside leaning bullish on that name as well. Let's take a look at Meta. Pivot to the upside today, guys, is going to be the 130.90 levels able to hold 135.61, 137.78. Unable to hold 127.14, 120.46 in my opinion. Downside overall going to be bullish. We're looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Last but not least, guys, Google pivot to the upside today is going to be the 88.39. Levels able to hold 90.32 to 91.62. Unable to hold 87.19 to 85.84 on the upside. Overall leaning bullish neutral there, in my opinion, on that name. Let's take a look at the Qs. So it's the VIX, 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 QQQ, IWM. VIX, guys, 21.17 pivot levels unable to hold 2019, 2019, able to hold 22.53. Not leaning any particular direction, but watching the VIX for direction on the market. Like I said before, QQQs pivot to the upside today is going to be the 270.81 level holds 277.05, 282.76, unable to hold 266.84, 262.09 on the downside. Overall leaning bullish neutral there. Then last but not least, guys, this IWM is the pivot to the upside today. Or sorry, not IWM, SPX is what we want to see. SPX pivot to the upside today is going to be the 339.14 level hold, 39.41, unable to hold 38.87, 38.61, and leading bullish neutral there as well at the gate. So guys, that's the SPY, that's the FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today. If you guys are joining us on the YouTube stream, thanks for popping in today. We do this every single Wednesday. You can certainly, if you do want to pop in, join us in chat, go to SpartanTrading.com. You can sign up there. We do have 2 other Discords as well, the swing chat and the live, the long-term ideas investment area as well, which has been bumping last couple of days, as you know, market's kind of been showing us a couple of different opportunities. So that's great. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, thanks for watching.